Welcome back everyone. So today I'm going to be taking it to Reddit and looking at investment based questions. Now before we get into the video, I have this random generator on the screen. This is the goal I'm setting for the number of likes for this video this week, and the goal is 15, so 15 likes on the video. So just hit that thumbs up and let's get into the video. And so the first question I have, and it's posted by user John24SSJ2, and the question regards Trading 212 tax clarification. And it states, "Hi all. Was hoping I could get some help with a question I had. I'm using Trading 212 Invest and ISA. I only use Invest because some stocks I'm interested in are not available in the ISA section. My question is, if I were to sell my shares in the Invest portion and then move the money I got from selling those shares to the ISA section and invest in stocks there, would I need to pay tax on it?" And so there's two possible scenarios here. Now the first thing to point out is that for the tax year 2020 to 2021, we have a tax-free allowance on capital gains up to £12,300. And so when this user sells their shares in the Invest account and then moves that money into the ISA account, then they won't be paying any tax. And so if this user is making more than £12,300, and they could do so by having capital gains within the Invest account that's above the threshold, but equally they could be buying and selling homes and making capital gains that way, or just any other revenue stream. So as an example, if they hold, let's say, Tesla in their Invest account and they've made a profit above 12,300, let's say £12,600, then they would have to pay capital gains on the difference, which is £300. So the next question I have is posted by Arterizo, and the question is regarding how do dividends work? And so they state, "I have 10 pence so far in dividends, and I was wondering how I withdraw this money, or does it automatically get sent to the bank? Where does it go basically?" Now there's two possible answers for this question, and I have my Trading 212 ISA account just to show as an example. And so if you invest in individual companies, then the money that is returned in the form of dividends will be added to the free funds. This can be different if you invest using the pie feature. And so if you have dividends and you set auto reinvest to on, then those dividends will not be added to the cash portion, and instead they will be reinvested into the pie when a certain threshold is met. If however you turn off the drip process, so if you set auto reinvest to off, then those dividends will be added to your free funds, and then you're free to reinvest or withdraw. So next up we have a question by Samat Original, and it's relating to the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. And they state, "Any thoughts on the above as a long-term investment?" Now personally, I hold the Vanguard S&P 500. I have it both within one of my pie sections, so on the ETFs. If I just go into holdings, we can see I have the Vanguard S&P 500. I have a target weight of 80%. I'm slightly over that at the moment, but I definitely hold the S&P 500 much higher than any of the other ETFs that I have in my portfolio. Now, since I started investing, that has equated to a 6.5% return. So I just enter the ticker symbol into Google and select the last year. We can see that the growth has increased by 12.5%. Now if I do the 5-year graph and do the same thing, we can see a growth of over 100%. So on average in the last 5 years, we've had a growth of slightly over 20%, which is pretty incredible. And so I would say as a long-term investment, it's a very solid option. The one downside here is that it's just the 500 top performing companies in the US market, so you don't have exposure to other countries such as the UK, but you could easily select another ETF that focuses on global markets. And I would say as a beginner investor, it's definitely a top choice to hold. And then as you continue, you can select individual companies if you're interested in that. And next up, we have the question by Tati Devane 27, and they're asking for some beginner advice on Tesla. And they state, "I bought one share in Tesla last week. I see it's dipping a lot today. Any advice or predictions on this? Really show my inexperience here, but any info much appreciated." Now, I always hold the opinion that if you want to invest in a company, then you need to be bullish and you believe in their long-term potential. For anyone who is looking for a quick buy and sell, then these types of questions do crop up quite often. During a small time frame, it's very difficult to actually give a solid prediction. People do use technical analysis, but it's far more easier to let time be on your side, hold on to these companies and see the growth increase in the long term. Anyone out there that is providing information, they could be correct 60% of the time, and that's a totally fine investment style, but it's really tricky indeed. So if you're new to investing, if you reach out on Reddit and you ask these types of questions, you're either going to get a question stating to hold on the investment to buy more of the underlying investment or to sell. So any beginner investors out there and those that are not interested in technical analysis, definitely perform your own research. Don't rely on others, because even if they're correct 50% of the time, you could lose a lot of money in the long run. Now I'm going to take a final question from the subreddit Trading212, but before I do, I just want to show that I have a subreddit. So those that use Reddit r/JayJamesInvest, feel free to ask any questions you like, so obviously investment related, and in future videos I'll showcase some of the questions that are coming from this YouTube community. Equally, if you have questions, feel free to post below this YouTube video. I'll be picking some interesting questions from there in the future and showcasing them on a subsequent video. So I'll have the link in the description as well. And so this is the Trading212 subreddit. I'm just going to scroll down and find an interesting question. Okay, so let's check this one out. So this is posted by user 4D4M43i3, and they state, kicking myself for not going big. Had a spare £5, so I used that. Wish I had listened when I was told to go big. A real opportunity lost. Still, profit is profit. And so this is on BioNano. There was a lot of news in the forum that this ticker was going to skyrocket. You know, I'd have to agree that profit is profit. The one issue when it comes to these growth-based companies is that it's really difficult to know how much you should initially invest, when to sell out. It's always the case that when we sell out of a position, we think to ourselves, well, if I doubled the initial value, I could have had double the profits. But when it comes to investing, we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. Of course, there's people out there that will defend that thought process. And it's true that you can make a lot of gains, but equally the reverse could happen. So investing is all about your attitude towards risk, and that's dependent on how much funds you have available, how much you're willing to lose. So those who wish to listen to others are always running that risk of not understanding what the company is about. As I mentioned earlier, perform your own research. It's only yourself that will gain or lose. At the end of the day, profit is profit, and that's what you should focus on. So never feel bad when you exit a position and you make a profit. Of course, my style is different. I hold on to stocks. That's a far more safer strategy for myself. New videos out every week. For those that haven't subscribed yet, then definitely do so. There'll be more content like this in the future. If you have any investment related questions, then do let me know in the comments below or on the subreddit JayJamesInvest. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.